All right.
Welcome, everybody, to the third and final series of the day. This is the Division A Finals, the tip top, the best of the best here. This is 2 plus 2 and Tilt Tactics. And joining me today, for the last time today, this will be Rory. How are you doing today, Rory?
I'm so excited. NGS has come to accumulate itself into being probably one of the best amateur leagues currently out. And with a great season already under our belts, season 2 on the horizon, these finals have really done everything they could to cap off just everything that NGS stands for. Really solid play, some really good unique styles of picking and the different drafts that we've been able to see, and overall just a great community come together and enjoy a video game. And right now we're again on the cusp of season 2, where we're going to have so many new changes as well. I'm happy to announce that I am now a sponsor for NGS. We're going to be seeing bigger prize pools, weekly giveaways, all of that kind of stuff, and it's going to be brought to you by myself and as well Seventh Ace being my co-caster, my co-pilot, and all of this nonsense. And so let's get this Division A finals underway. And I mean, already some really strong countering picks just without any heroes picked, and that's Abathur and Malthael Band.
Indeed, these teams have played at extremely high levels throughout the season. I believe. Oh, we got Garrosh. I believe Jägermeister, is it? As part of Tilt Tactics, plays a very, very powerful Abathur. And it's a good ban there for 2 plus 2 to get rid of that extremely powerful force. Meanwhile,
Absolutely.
we have the Garrosh pickup. Rory, tell me about Garrosh once again.
So, Big Daddy Huff. That is the player of Warriors on Tilt Tactics. They have a couple of other melee flex that can play Garrosh, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Big Daddy Huff over there. And I mean, he's just so impactful. He punishes bad movement. He punishes being in a bad position, something that ETC and Dahaka also play really well against. So it's almost an even trade here pretty early in these picks, that we're not really seeing a true testament to what these teams are planning. We're just seeing, hey, the second you step out of bounds, we're going to punish you for it, and we're going to collapse. And up until this point, these teams, they've played against each other before. They've been able to get some of that experience, and I mean, it's definitely showing that both of these teams have done their research.
Ooh. Greymane Uther picked up. We have seen, I believe, 100% popularity for Greymane throughout the entire finals today. They just played in all 5 Division C matches. I believe all 4 of Division B picked or banned. And he
Indeed.
makes an appearance here.
And that's just follow up on the Garrosh. Garrosh with a good flip. You get a stun from Uther, you get the collapse from Greymane, and it's just you've got a dead whatever you flip. The only thing is that Dahaka and ETC both have escapes from those, so it's a really solid choice to have those up in the front line. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another tank going to be accompanying Garrosh up on the front for Tilt Tactics, and it's definitely a strong map to have a double front line, being that there's so many small choke points on Sky Temple, especially around that bottom temple. So I like that these, that 2 plus 2 at this point really kind of knows how to respond to a lot of those kinds of those niche picks.
Huh. I'm looking at the ban. They hovered Arthas, went nah. Hovered Anubrak for just a second or two, nah. And they settled on Li Ming. Rory, you're familiar with Li Ming. I would say just a little bit. And there goes the ban. Turns out the stream snipe happened hours ago when Garrosh Li Ming was played by Rory in the Division B finals.
Apparently, I made a good impact. I don't know. I mean, we won that game.
Yeah, that was fantastic with the stitches.
Yeah. The honestly, the big thing with Li Ming is it allows for so much burst to capitalize upon a lot of displacement. But at the same point, Li Ming can punish certain heroes in a way that is really hard to counter out. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 plus 2 going for some of those heroes that allow for that kind of precision that we can see Li Ming bring. So maybe a Stukov, we can have Ariel still on table with the potential of a nice battery. So I like these. I like these choices so far, and Lunara being banned. That is a real testament to knowing what your opponent's going to do, because Lunara punishes Uther so hard. Those long cooldowns for heals and her ability to spread poison. I mean, we don't have a cure for herpes, and Lunara brings the herp. So
That is very true. That is very true. Lunara spreads around that debilitating poison for quite a long time. We saw, I believe, in the Division C finals, a Lunara just overwhelm the healing of an Uther and lead to victory. We have Falstad and Rhaegar, so now we have double global picked up for 2+2, along with the very versatile Rhaegar as their support. Rhaegar, always powerful in being able to take camps, assist just one hero in camp with that lightning bond at level 1, as well as just being a good overall healer and amazing with Ancestral.
absolutely, you picked out two of the bigger solo laners in a bigger map like this, and that's Dahaka and Falstad, and they're two really good team fight heroes as well. You know, Falstad with his Gust can really isolate targets, especially after a Divine Shield is popped. Because I don't know if you know this, but Divine Shield, if you've got that on you, you ain't going anywhere with the Gust. So one bad Divine Shield, and all of a sudden you're going to be alone. So ultimately, I think at this point they're just looking at having each lane occupied, with Rhaegar being able to go and get those camps and take care of those in the meantime, and then not lose any soak. Make sure that you're able to get lane pressure as those temples are coming up.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness it's a Tychus. Axon is going to go ahead after this draft and do a quick restart because game's being a bit choppy. So we might have a quick interruption, but I love Tychus. Tychus is one of my golden mastery heroes. Small little group of heroes, about 12, but he is a fantastic pickup, and I really like any kind of Tychus play.
Yeah, I like him on Sky Temple, especially because it also allows for the Drill to be a potential ult. I think we'll still probably see the Odin, just because the percentage-based damage you're able to do onto ETC and Dahaka, while ETC and Dahaka are very survivable with their some of their abilities, it can be a little bit wearying. So when you're pairing that with like a Greymane who's able to burst things down with that Cursed Bullet, you know, just as a scenario, you throw a Cursed Bullet down there, Dahaka pops his essences to be able to re-engage, and Tychus comes in, activates his trait, burns everything down. I mean, it's really threatening. And then KT on the other side, though.
Yep.
What a champion.
Yep. So Accent's going to do a quick restart. Are we going to... Would it be faster to make this... Change your lobby mode. And make it into just a pick your heroes kind of thing. I think... Let me... We'll see how that happens. But Kael'thas is the last pickup for 2+2. Okay, we will go to the custom things. So,
all right.
Cool. So that'll speed this up quite nicely. So what are you looking at for what's going to make the most impact? Is it going to be Team Global, or is it going to be the response that Tilt Tactics was able to put up?
Honestly, on this particular map, it can be so hit or miss. There is a huge emphasis on how you rotate on this map that really defines kind of your pace. And I've seen Tilt Tactics have a great cadence with their rotations and really, really solid map pickup, the camp pickup to really dictate the pace of the map. And they're really good at forcing other teams to make bad choices. 2+2, though, has not really been susceptible to that in the course of the season, as well as the latter portion of the playoffs. So it's hard to say whether or not Tilt Tactics has the draft to allow for them to win. I think I personally favor the draft of 2+2 a little bit more, just because I've seen them play some of these heroes that they've picked, and it's definitely comfort on their side that they have. Although I will be honest, I don't think we're going to see Mosh. I think that the point of having Dahaka, ETC, Falstad is triple global. That way, you're always able to gank. You're always able to be in a position to get a kill, and then push, get a kill, and then push. And you keep doing that until, well, you've just forced somebody into submission.
Yep. All right, start this up. We'll get the heroes assigned to each team. So we'll go ahead and do it this way. We have... it just selects everybody into what they did in the draft. That's pretty sweet. Start this up.
Indeed, indeed. Well, here we go.
Game 1 on Sky Temple, Division A Finals, 2+2 Tilt Tactics on the other side of the break. Stick around. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to Game 1, Division A Finals, Sky Temple. Here on the left side of the map, we have 2+2. We have Axon on Kael'thas Raider, on Rhaegar, Hollis on ETC, Tythel on Dahaka, and McNulty Captain on Falstad.
And in the blue trunks, the red trunks. I'm back. We're back asswards here. We've got Stitches being played by Jägermeister, which is a bit of a change. He's usually on those mages. Laldo Soda's playing Tactcs. Edward Tor is always on those melee. That's Greymane. Mr. Big Daddy Huff on the warrior, and that's going to be Garrosh. And then Uther is going to be handled by the dainty little Arya.
Arya working with the most ghetto final setup I think I've seen, as we get a 4-man push into the bottom lane by 2+2. They're going to go ahead, pick up an early wall, and then use their global advantage to spread the map out without missing anything. So, good start for 2+2.
Absolutely. And just a side note here, Sky Temple is a really good map for both of these teams. I've seen 2+2 compete on this map in not only NGS, but in the HGC Open. They've done it in the Easy Sunday Morning HOTS tournament that is hosted by Jason. And it's a very strong map for them. That being said, though, when you put put players like Laldo Sodas on those weird heroes that not a lot of people play, Abathur, Tychus, things like that, good things happen. And I've seen it happen many, many times. So I'm interested to see how impactful the Tychus is going to be. I think that's really going to be what dictates the pace of this map.
I can absolutely agree with that. Tychus can put so much pressure on the front line that it really forces either a front line to come back, a good amount of support, or a blow up from the back line. And that's going to be really instrumental in these team fights as we start this first temple phase.
Absolutely. And Voodoo, I know you're watching, buddy. I think we need some MLG horns. So I'm giving you permission to, at one point during this broadcast, come in here and just do a random MLG horn, buddy. You've earned it. shout out to Voodoo, who is one of the admins for NGS. He's one of the creators, and he's done a lot of work to be able to put this all together. So a lot of appreciation for that, man.
Indeed. We see the jump on the first temple by Tilt Tactics on the red side. As the scuffle begins to occur, 4v4 now turning into 5v5 as Laldo Sodas takes a ton of damage. McNulty finishes off the kill. Axon in a lot of trouble as well. There's the counter kill, so 4-on-4 now. Great friendly hook from Edward Torres. Raider ends up jumping a long way forward to try and nibble his ankles. And seems to be all the bloodshed we'll see to start until the re-engage on the temple.
Yeah, Jägermeister, like I said, is normally one of those carry heroes. He thrives so well on heroes like KT, on like Li Ming. I know he's really excited for Kel'Thuzad, and a huge collapse on the Hollis on the back of a really, really nice flip, and a great hook to follow up as well as Laldo Sodas comes in to apply a little bit more pressure on the back end. But I like that Jägermeister's showing a lot of flexibility with his hero pool, and with that, most of that tower going over the end part of that tower going over the way of Tilt Tactics. I mean, ultimately, we're seeing that they're gaining quite a bit of split pressure as well. A lot of XP though going to be had from Tidal down in the bot lane getting those towers early.
Indeed, even though TT's been focused on the getting the kills, they've been focused on those towers and ended up retaining just an XP even as opposed to pulling an XP lead, and that's in large part to the globals that 2+2 is drafted as Greymane gets taken out in the top lane.
Yeah, Edward Torres just getting a little bit too ham there in the bot, and a little bit of a highlight here. Wolfheart was taken for Edward Torres on Greymane at the very beginning, so he's wanting to get that cooldown reduction, probably focusing a little bit more on being able to stay in Worgen form. And I like that choice because it really allows for a lot more presence up front. I wouldn't be surprised to see Alpha Killer picked up here in the late game, and that's very strong talent against the likes of ETC, who doesn't really have any sort of strong damage reduction. He's more about healing himself, and I mean you could shred through that with a Greymane.
Yes, indeed. I'm interested as to why the temples were picked up, or the bruiser camps were picked up early rather than later. Usually you see the bruiser camps come out very close to the bottom temple phase, but here both teams picked them up pretty much immediately after the temple ended, and I'm curious as to the decision why.
Well, the way the timing of this map works is if both teams are kind of focused on making sure that second temple phase, which is going to be on bottom, is taken as quickly as possible, that bruiser camp will be up right before the third temple phase, which is going to have a bot top split. So if both of those camps are pushing, well, if even one of them is pushing in that top lane during the third, which if you pick it up right before the second temple phase, it's not going to get much value, you're able to force a team to go up to top to get that temple and clear out that camp, because it makes more sense in terms of team dynamic. And during that time, the other team could be getting the bottom temple as well as the boss.
Wow, that's actually quite interesting. That's a definite meta switch, different from what we've seen in the other divisions, and very cool. Very cool as bottom temple spawns now. We saw a scuffle for those siege camp in the bottom side on the side of Tilt Tactics, and 2+2 ended up getting the invade as a slight advantage, but no kills were picked up through that.
And now a little bit of a change as well from the KT play that we were able to see yesterday, as Huff Money just taking a ton of damage. Big Daddy Huff's going to go down, but followed shortly as Hollis, as he's just caught way out. Laldo DeSoto's getting caught by a tongue as well, as Tidal keeps the engagement going. And he wants to tug. He's going to lick Laldo DeSoto to death.
Indeed. And it stuck to that water gun, too, for a little while.
That was insane. Tidal, you need to brush your teeth if your breath kills somebody like that. Come on, man.
Almost got another tongue, but with level 10s picked up, 4-2+2, Tilt Tactics has no choice but to disengage off of this temple, and so that'll be the full bottom temple going over to the side of 2+2, killing that middle fort.
And it was such a good job getting that early pressure on that bottom fort, getting some really, really early damage onto that bottom fort. They knew exactly how much damage to do to that bottom to make sure that that second keep is going to secure the mid one. And here we go. We got 10s on both sides. Chris Bolt's going to land on the Tidal and force him to back away. Hollis does a good job of peeling. No one really else in position. McNulty goes in for a really aggressive fly-in and barrel rolls out immediately. Unfortunately, Big Daddy Huff wasn't quite in position to do that. Hollis with a good flip. A great follow-up as well from Arya, but there we go, that gust. And a D-shield forced out. I think it was a little bit premature. Garrosh is most survivable at around 56 percentage HP. And so that's a little bit of a wasted cooldown, down for about 80 seconds. And if there was any time to be able to take an engagement like this one onto Edward Torres, is definitely now. And I think this is going to be boss.
Sure looks like that. Although Gust is down, one of their main space control heroics. They do have Mosh Pit, though. So they have not opted for that triple global comp. Instead, we'll go for that more impactful team fight ultimate.
Absolutely, and this is a perfect time to be able to get that boss as well, because We've got 10 seconds until the Bruiser camps up for one, 20 seconds for the other. Temples are going to be coming up pretty soon. Like I said, it's going to be a bottom-top split. And at this point, they have a full boss defense that's going to be happening. And, I mean, we've got Odin online. It's going to be a pretty quick defense, but it's going to force them to be late to this temple. And they'll have to respond to the likes of the Bruiser camp. The Siege camp's going to be pushing both lanes. I wouldn't be surprised to see 2+2 go for an aggressive Bruiser camp as well, because, I mean, they know where everybody is for Tilt Tactics. A great flip on a McNulty, though, and that is going to be a dead fall stat. Just throwing him right underneath the towers.
Oh, and
Title's getting
caught down as well. He's going to pop Adaptation, try and burr out. Good interrupt there. Who's that? Arya on the Uther. Gets a nice interrupt on the dig. Ends up picking out 2 kills from 2+2 people that were trying to be a little too cheeky and try and pick off any stragglers, but it does not work out for him.
Absolutely, and a little bit of a mistake on my end. It is the third temple is always mid and bot, and we've got a disconnect from Big Daddy Huff, and it is going to be a pause.
Dude, he left so hard he got out of the game twice. He was like, oh.
Well, we've got 13-12 advantage here and a huge structural advantage for 2+2 heading into the 10-minute mark of the very first map, Sky Temple. What do you think we really need to have Tilt Tactics do to be able to get back in this game?
Oh, they've just got to leverage their team fighting power, and I think now that they've got their heroics, I think they'll be able to do that. The D-Shield and Taunt have already been shown to be quite effective in these team fights. We haven't even seen Odin yet. Putrid Bile allows a lot of space control that 2+2 can't do a whole lot about, and obviously Cursed Bullet brings the burst damage. So I really think that just dropping those heroics correctly and having those more impactful teamfight heroics will allow them to get back into this game.
I completely agree. And the best part about this whole, day, I think, is it's also the very first day of my favorite NFL team's NFL season. So I'm actually watching the game while casting. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. No Hannah Montana songs, though, please.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to redeem myself on this pause. We're going to go ahead and do a 3, a 2, a 1, and a go, and not mess it up this time. All the teams are ready. Way to go.
All right, and it looks like Bot Garrosh has already set up Big Daddy Huff into that bottom temple to do that. Unfortunately, he's going to go ahead and knock himself off of the temple for funsies. Now, it looks like the rest of Tilt Tactics are content to just get this bottom fort pushed a little bit further, see if they can get some extra shots onto that mid fort as well.
Yep, every point of damage done by the heroes in the team is damage that the temples do not have to do, and so that'll speed up this map, get it closer and closer to completion, and results in good damage. Huff Money jumps Hollis into the middle of his team. Jägermeister going to cut off the retreat path with the Putrid Bile. Hollis goes in, gets a 5-man mosh pit. Here comes the Flame Strike, the damage. Tythel comes in. Divine Shield on the Self-Uther. He will not escape. 4-man wipe on top of that amazing mosh pit by Hollis.
Monster kill. And that was just insane. I have yet to see a mosh that impactful in NGS, and my dreams have come true. I was thinking we'd probably see stage dive, but mosh was just so good. I mean, Hollis alone takes a 4v5 and turns it into a 1v5. I mean, that was insane.
That was a fantastic play. Axon's Burned Flesh really able to add the damage on and get all 5 heroes chunked as Raider gets actually deleted by a good Garrosh flip. So despite getting super moshed, TT ends up coming back, picks off a Rhaegar. Good tenacity there, but they've got to be tenacious to hold off a 2.5 level deficit.
Absolutely, and camps are available. Again, Bruiser camps have not been picked up since that initial discussion, I'd say. A little quick update on some of the quests. We only need 2 more for Cocktail, quite a few more for Wave of Light for Arya, and we've got Mana Addict as well as Enhanced Agility completed by Dahaka and KT respectively. So very good job prioritizing those quests and getting them done quickly. 16's been picked up as well on the back of that amazing God Mosh. So, I mean, Look, we give an MVP award to, one person at least at the end of every series. And Hollis really came in thinking, hey, man, maybe I could win some.
Yeah, he's punched his ticket for this game so far. Let's see if he can continue on, or if somebody else is going to try from Tilt Tactics to come in and upset it with a great comeback play. I mean, if they come back from this, it's MVP worthy, if you ask me.
I completely agree. Absolutely, completely agree. And that's going to be really I'd say the real instrumental part here has to be
Collapse time.
It has to be Huff. He needs to be the one to set an engagement up, and a huge mosh again, but it's interrupted from Laldo to Sodas. A great Divine Shield is going to be able to secure a little bit more safety for Big Daddy Huff, but unfortunately, Arya is going to go down. That is Uther, though, so they're going to spread in a little bit more of those heals as this bottom keep is going to be going down. That is, that's huge, as now we've got Temple phases coming up once again, and now we've got Edward Torres coming back to help, but Jägermeister, in the meantime, is going to be falling. His health points just a little bit too low there, and a good amount of damage done in return, but that level lead, man, is just, it's too much to be able to deal with. It's not going to net any kills, and this is, I think, going to be bottom temple as well as boss, which is coming up in 2, 1, go. God, caster timing is on point again today.
Fantastic. I wish your timing was better on the games. Oh, sorry, too soon.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, that was savage.
Yeah, I wish I could have beaten you. That would have been fun.
Yeah, would have been, but bring in the counter burns. Impressive. Well done. Bush Party being set up by Tilt Tactics against the boss, but looks like instead of going for boss and temple, they've decided to go double temple on the side of 2+2, going to go up 3 levels now. So full control of the map, full control of the objectives, and it's up to them. They'll have to decide what they're going to do next.
Yeah, I like this choice by 2+2. They understand that there is no way Tilt Tactics knows that they're in a 2-3 split, and both globals were up on top, and unfortunately they just didn't know, and it takes a little bit longer for Falstad to be able to do anything, and a huge flip as well on a KT with the taunt. It's going to come out, secure that kill, but unfortunately Huff has punched his final ticket. He's going to go down. 20's now getting hit here in just a second. Jaeger also went almost down, but ultimately he's going to be able to stay alive. And that was just a huge play by Huff to be able to set his team up. Unfortunately, they just couldn't stay alive long enough to really capitalize on it.
Yeah, however, the 1-for-1 trade does help the team that's down 3 levels quite a bit, and that'll allow TT to get a little bit closer, but the structural damage is so real right now. This top keep likely to go down with these last 5 shots. Boom, there it goes. So that's it. They're naked on the right side. They are exposed to the core. And they're going to have to play pretty much perfectly from here on out to be able to survive any future temple phases or a boss.
Absolutely. And Torbus was picked up as the level 20 for Hollis. So wanting to get a lot more value out of that mosh, which, I mean, look, in a game where you normally get 2 or 3 good moshes, where you're, stunning out 1 or 2 people, he's already done his work with mosh. Just let it go. All right, you've done what you needed to do. We get it. You're awesome. It's fine.
Oop, here comes the invade onto the siege camp and the defense here by TT. However, they're down level 20. Gust goes off. Hollis gets flipped. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Can the Ancestral come in time? Oh my goodness, it did just in time. There's the tour bus for a 3-man mosh. Big Daddy Huff Money gets the interrupt, but that stun is all that was needed to leverage this into 3 and counting kills for 2+2.
That was just an insane mosh as well. It didn't last as long as the last one, which, I mean, how many times have I heard that in my life? But it was long enough for them to be able to pour some damage on. And again, Burnt Flesh by KT just doing so much work. Axon really leveraging his positioning with a lot of his abilities. And this keep is going to go down. First game in this best of 5 going over to 2+2 in dominant fashion.
Dude, I feel like having a rave party after that one with an ETC tour bus going down. That was so impressive.
I need a cigarette after that. I don't even smoke. I need a cigarette after that.
Somebody got a lighter?
I'm pretty sure Axon does.
Cool. Well, all right, we'll be back for game 2. That was a quick game, 16 minutes, despite making it to level 21. We'll We'll be back in just a moment. Stick with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Waiting on Jaeger.
Welcome everybody to Braxis Holdout, the second game as part of the Nexus Gaming Series Division A Final Series between 2+2 and Tilt Tactics. First game, can you describe for us, Rory, in 2 words, how that first game went?
Tour bus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A fantastic amount of mosh pit tour bus play from Hollis. Easily took the team fight advantage away from Tilt Tactics, and there is the Garrosh and Anubrak bands. Now, let's catch everybody up. This is the map choice of Tilt Tactics, so they have to have something in mind. Braxis is a draft-dependent map, really even more so than some of the other maps, and I want to see what Tilt Tactics has that makes them so confident on this map to choose it so early.
You know, this is definitely a map that a lot of teams stray away from playing because it's hard to play team fight oriented comps into a map so heavily dependent upon lanes, and it can be a little bit rough or a little bit daunting to come into this with the goal of having those team fights. But honestly, I've seen both of these teams really work well on this map, and with Tassadar already being picked up, I really do believe that we're going to see a little bit more of a beacon control oriented comp coming out of 2+2. That being said, though, come on, Zarya and Gul'dan.
Whew.
Tilt Tactics just pulling out all the stops. They have a plan here.
Yeah, they do. Zarya and Gul'dan are some of the best heroes on this map, just overall, bar none. Chromie's a proper counter to Zarya. Let's talk about Zarya and Gul'dan for just a minute more, though. Gul'dan brings some of the best wave clear in terms of mages and overall into this game. Zarya, some of the best push and one of the best early game heroes. And those two combined make such a powerful bullying early game composition that that can snowball this game really effectively. But on the other side, Chromie and Dahaka. What is 2+2 going to do with that?
Honestly, we've seen Chromie once already in this in the finals. So we've saw it in a Division C map, Towers of Doom, and it was so effective being able to poke. That's the kind of power that she could bring onto this map as well, poking around the beacons, as well as that a huge amount of burst damage on her Dragon's Breath. You can really bust out a lot of damage onto those. I can't remember what they call them, the little floaty scarab things that shoot artillery from the back of the Zerg waves.
Those are Guardians.
A lot of damage. There you go, Guardians.
Yeah, the crabs, floating crabs, they're Guardians.
Yeah, little floating crabbies. All right. Well, ultimately, she's able to pour a lot of damage onto there. I like her new build. A lot of people are kind of skeptical about her, the way she works now. You got to stack up her Q quite a bit to be able to really start pouring on the damage. But if you get things like her time trap at level 4, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it resets your cooldowns for your Q and your E when you trigger a time trap. And if you get good time traps and you're able to do, proper positioning around those beacons, you're able to ultimately just get a huge amount of damage off. Get some poking in beforehand, you trigger it, and immediately after Dragon's Eyes picked up at 7, or 5 for her, then, you're one-shotting things like a Gul'dan. And Zarya is a great way to be able to shield against some of that, but it's not enough, I don't think, in this particular case. So I'm hoping we see the new Chromie build.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. We saw Bronze Talents in the Division C game. Kind of more of a past familiarity, but I would love to see that Time Trap talent on 2. That is a lot of T's. Time Trap talent on 2.
And with Tilt Tactics.
And against Tilt Tactics. Oh my goodness. Arthas, early game bullying. Oh, we have Lucio in the finals. Let's break it down.
I love it. The amount of shielding that we're going to see is just going to counter Chromie out so hard. You're not going to be able to get much done in the team fights going on. And Arthas, just so much collapse. And with the root talent at level 13, being able to get that armor reduction, you're really looking at Zarya and Gul'dan being able to do quite a lot with it. And Lucio is just so good at enabling heavy engages that I would not be surprised to see some sort of an engage heavy hero to accompany Arthas. You know, a Malthael would be a really good choice. I was hoping for a Diva, honestly. I would love to see a Diva on this map, and Diva would work well for either of these teams, but I don't think she'd be the best choice. But I mean, she's really impactful on this map as well, and so I can hope. All right, I can hope.
Yep. Tilt Tactics, with that Lucio, does patch up the Arthas mobility issue, some of Zarya's mobility issues, some of Gul'dan's mobility issues. Lucio provides enough sustain. I like their comp, and we've run something identical to this in the past. I want to see that strong soul laner, possibly even another bruiser, possibly a triple tank composition. But let's look over at 2+2's most recent pickups, Muradin and Stukov. Muradin for that nice front line, and Stukov obviously a very powerful group support.
Okay, so looking back at semifinals, we had 2+2 take it to, I believe, ODG, and Braxis Holdout was the map of choice, and ultimately we saw a primary like Chromie carry, and Chromie was the only damage dealer. It was almost an identical draft. The only difference was I think we had a new Brack instead of Muradin. That was really the only change. And I mean, the amount of damage that they were able to put out despite only having Chromie as your hard engage, or sorry, your heavy damage dealer, was just insane. And you get the new Chromie fixes in there as well. You're going to have more resets, and you're going to have more reach out and touch somebody power. I really like this choice. I like that they're willing to commit once more to this particular style of play. But we get to see the Hunter and Misha.
Oh my goodness. So we do have triple tank. It's not a triple tank I would have expected, though. It's almost quadruple tank. We have Misha and whoever else that Misha brings around.
Yeah, her pet, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, her pet Rexar. That, if executed well, is going to be a fantastic, fantastic play. We'll have to see how they do it. Good luck, have fun to both teams. We'll be back right after the loading break. While we're in this loading break, make sure to send some support our way for the casting. I am twitch.tv/7thace, and we have Rory_NL with us. Put a lot of time into these casts, a lot of preparation, and we'd appreciate any kind of support you could bring to us. With that all being said, let's introduce 2+2 here on the left side of Braxis Holdout. They're up 1-0. They have 2 wins to go to get to Division A's championship crown. We have Axon on the Vital Chromie, Hollis on Muradin, Raider on Stukov, McNulty Captain on Tassadar, and Tythel on the Dancing Dahaka.
And in the red trunks, having just defeated the loading screen boss, is Tilt Tactics, and they are manning up Arthas with Jägermeister, Lal Dota Sodas on the Gul'dan, which is, again, a big change. Usually Jägermeister's on those mages, so a little bit of versatility here once again. Edward Torres playing Rexar, which we've seen him play a little bit beforehand on Dragon Shard. Definitely a very strong Rexar player. Big Daddy Huff on the Zarya, and then we have Lucio breaking it down with Arya.
Well, already interesting arrangements as Dahaka gets a nice taste of what Bear tastes like, but with this 4-3 arrangement, or a 4-on-3 arrangement in the bottom lane, I expect Tilt Tactics to be able to do an absolute truck ton of damage in this early game if Dahaka cannot rotate down. If 2+2 requires 2 heroes in the top lane, they're going to be in bad shape in this bottom lane.
I completely agree. And, I mean, you have Rexar in the bot lane, who basically acts like 2 heroes in how they can body block, how they can get good positioning. And already you see McNulty and Tythel, you know, duking it out and are fairly even with the Bear and his pet. So, I mean, it's it's pretty decent matchup. I think ultimately Edward Torres does lose this matchup, especially because he did go easy prey, which is essentially, you know, mercenaries do more damage around you, or they take less damage anyway, and then you're able to do more damage to mercenaries, allowing for you to be able to jungle quite a bit. And I think that's going to be what Edward Torres is really looking to accomplish in this particular matchup.
Yep, and it assists his lane clear, which is going to be an important part to help sustain him in that top lane against two heroes, because we see one tower down in the top for Tilt Tactics, but already fort damage going down against 2+2 in the bottom lane. And that bottom lane is just so disgusting so far.
It is, and that's not really much to say that as far as, you know, they're playing bad or anything like that. That's just really how you have to play when Chromie is your primary carry. You got to be able to win the long battle. This is going to be a late game play for them, and they are going to see bronze talons out of Accent on the Chromie. But I got to give it up to him, though. He's already at 24 stacks on this queue.
Wow. We had
We're
24 stacks at level 10 in Division C, and this will continue to go up. And he didn't even take the thing that allows him to stack more on 3 consecutive hits, so really good job.
That being said, though, 2.5 minutes in, and McNulty has already stacked up his Templar's Will. I mean, come on.
He can just laser... oh, Edward Torres actually going to die to McNulty in the top lane. Wow.
Staying a little bit too long, not anticipating the damage that McNulty can pour out, and he just didn't have enough mana to be able to sustain his bear, and then he had to get up in there. Just took a little bit too much damage as well, but only 8% going over for Tilt Tactics in terms of beacon control. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we see Murd and Tilt. I think ultimately it's going to require a lot of good positioning by Hollis to be able to enable for Chromie to get that damage out. That's so necessary, but unfortunately Hollis is going to be meeting his demise on the back of Huff doing a ton of damage with that full energy bar, and he is with Demolitions Expert, so that particle grenade doing just a ton of damage, quick resets on it. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Already there's a fort down in the bot lane, just too much to work with here, as Redder and Accent are just sitting there trying to defend their hearts out.
Indeed, that's a full fort already down, gives them a near level advantage, and what can I say? We've got Speed Barrier for Zarya to help increase allied move speed, which is a great help, again, with the 3 heroes that Zarya is laning with. Really love the play so far from Tilt Tactics.
And Tidalon in a bit of a bad spot is going to have to use his essences. He burrowed down to the bot lane to try to capture both beacons. That stalemate up in the top lane with Edward Torres just a little bit too much for him to handle. He's going to meet his demise as well. McNulty just duking it out against Edward Torres on the Rexar up there. And, I mean, they're staying on the points as long as they possibly can, but it's just, I think, going to be a little bit too much to handle for either of them. They need to really buddy up and try to bully Rexar off the point together. But I think this is going to be the full 100-0 Zerg wave going over in favor of Tilt Tactics as they have a full level lead.
I want to give an apology real quick to the to just noticing that we did a radio cast for the first 3 minutes of the game, but that will be okay. Brings us back, as Voodoo says, to the old days. Did not recognize that the button did not get pressed successfully, but that is alright. What's not alright is that Tassadar death. RIP.
At least they heard sexy voices.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine you're watching a football game in the 50s, guys.
Oh.
Or listening to a football game.
Yeah, watching it is going to the game, but regardless, back onto the correct game that's occurring. We do have that first fort going down to the just unrelenting 5-man push of Tilt Tactics. This is a brutal push. Zarya is doing so much damage along with that cooldown.
Absolutely. And once again, Voodoo, man, we're still waiting on that MVP horn.
There goes the bear, but that's only part of this wave. Edward Torres goes ahead and backs off, plays safe, and he's going to pick up that bottom lane soak as level 10s are just near. Wow. Speed Shield gets Luldo Sodas out just in time with a nice little sup. Hey, I'm out of here. Spray. Well done there.
You know, I like that they understand the strengths of 2+2's comp, and they're willing to be aggressive under the fact that Axon is pretty unsafe with having to have that split soak happening to match Rexar. And so Edward Torres is getting a lot of one of two things. He's either forcing too much attention up to the top lane and allowing for people to get a lot of value, just bullying Chromie out, not allowing her to deal damage, or they're just losing the top lane. And so it's a really solid showing of how to be able to play against that strong Chromie carry. And already we see a huge structural advantage as we've got 5 posturing up in the top lane, ready to take down the team.
Syndragosa comes out by Jägermeister, disables the towers and chunks Hollis. Here comes the sound barrier to engage after, and this might be first keep at 7:15 or so over to the side of Tilt Tactics. Really, really great use of heroics there.
Absolutely, and good zoning out as well by Redder on the Stukov, and made it so it was a little bit harder to escape. Ultimately, though, Zarya's shielding is just doing work against Axon on the Chromie, and I think this is going to be a boss pull. It is everybody's staging here for the boss, and it is going to be Edward Torres on Rexar grabbing it, and I think this is going to be kind of what their original plan was, getting Rexar to help just two-man the bosses with Misha and Huff just assisting, and that's a crazy amount of damage that they're already able to put on with no real threat. With Vakip down in the top lane as well, it's this bottom boss is going to push on bottom, so I mean, really, you're in a win-win situation here, as we've got a full 5-on-5 about to happen in the bot lane.
Yeah, could we see an expulsion come out, prevent Hollis or somebody from getting into the gate? They do not. Instead, it will be beacon time. So, seems like a little disengage pulled off before 10s are picked up by 2+2.
Getting a little scrap, though, as Hollis is in a little bit of danger as well. The boss is getting ready to deal a ton of damage. Redder really in danger, and Hollis having to pop Avatar. Great Horrify as well coming down. Kylo and Hollis just in a terrible spot. Essences have been popped. Hollis going out with about 70 HP, and here we go. The turnaround trying to happen. Voss is doing work on that front keep wall as well, as Title's cut out. He doesn't have any essences left, and he is going to be getting a great drag on the Edward Torres, but it's all going to be for naught, as he's going to fall, and followed shortly by Redder on the Stukov. Axon being chased down by Laldo de Sodas, but that the sand is just doing work as well. And Syndragosa can pop, and I believe this is going to be keep as well. Just a little bit too much damage for one person to be able to deal with, though. Axon, despite the fact that his team is currently losing it in structures, he has done a decent job of keeping his team in this, with the fact that he has now completed his quest for his Q as well. So he's landed a lot of shots, he's getting a lot of pressure, but it's just not quite enough.
No, this composition of Tilt Tactics was perfectly designed. When we asked if they had a plan back in the draft, it seems like we found the plan, and it has been executed almost perfectly so far, despite Chromie's 55,000 damage so far.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, with Zarya and with the likes of Zarya, Rexar, Lucio, you're not going to get a whole lot of pressure, because you're going to see Misha zoning out a lot of those shots, and the healing from Rexar is going to be able to match that pretty easily. And then you got the shielding from Zarya is just really difficult to deal with.